Hello, hello, hello. Test, check, check. Hello, we're there. Welcome into the Eric Zane Show podcast. My apologies if the video is herky-jerky and weird. Hopefully the audio maintains. Hopefully the video doesn't look like a seizure. The show is happening from Fear Bunker North, about 180 miles away from beautiful West Michigan in northern Michigan. Essentially the middle of nowhere, surrounded by a vast forest. It's humid as hell. I don't know why I'm wearing the hoodie. Brought the dogs up here. My dad's going to be coming up. I'm excited about seeing him. And on the way up here, actually, I'm going to save that. You need to know that as I walked into this old trailer, this is a 1951 Pontiac Chief. I don't really know if it's considered a mobile home or a travel trailer. But I still have the original manual, that the owner's manual. And the illustrations are hand-drawn. And they depict a family in like a station wagon pulling this. I think this thing is like 40 feet long. And it's heavy. It's made from like actual wood and aluminum. I can't imagine a 1950-something station wagon pulling something like this down the road. I know they had trucks back then, but it was a different time. So, I don't know. I think you had the opportunity to move it once, and then that was it. My dad sold the axles off it for like a couple cartons of cigarettes and a case of Schlitz back in the day, so it can't move. I think the only option here, if you ever wanted to get it off of this property, would be to cut it up into pieces or throw a Molotov cocktail in the window. But it is actually pristine. My dad stays in here, and it's been here since before I was born. This piece of property I bought off of Dad when he was realizing that his dementia and his Alzheimer's was consuming him, and he said, I gotta get rid of this. He sold it to your old pal EZ. So here we are. Now, before I get to the big story, I'm not going to make you wait long on this, but to talk about what happened on the Big Boomer Bunker show yesterday. But I kind of want to make sure that we get as many people in here as possible because I don't want to be catching people up during the story. But I walk in here, and the first thing I always do is check for mice. If you've listened to me for any amount of time, this has been an ongoing battle. And recently, I'm pretty sure I discovered the point of entry for the mice. Pooh Bear has said she will never, ever spend a night in here until we go extended time with no mice. And every time I've come up here, I've found mouse carcasses in the traps, mouse shit everywhere. I've found elaborate mouse nests where they've bred in cabinets in this oven over here. I opened it up one time. It's a big ass nest drawer. They're getting in. And I'm like, well, what the fuck? So I finally, I thought, located it. And, well, I'm happy to report that we now have two ventures up here with no mice. I came in here, checked the traps. None of them were sprung. No evidence of mouse turds anywhere. And so that's a fucking victory right there. I called Pooh Bear and I said, Pooh Bear, there's no mice. And she said, you're lying to my ears. And I said, no, I wouldn't do that to you. I'm telling you, no mice. I don't expect you to, want to spend nights here. But I'm just letting you know we have two moments where the mice, where there's no evidence of mice. Fingers crossed. Kenny says basically Diana will never be staying back inside that thing ever. As of right now, still true. Still true. Fortunately, we have the motorhome, and that is the base. I'm actually sleeping in that. I don't sleep in here because I brought up 4 dogs. And one of them right now is not in your line of sight, but is in mine. And that would be Darla. I don't want to leave Darla alone. The other 3 dogs are in the motorhome, enjoying the morning. Darla, I don't really want to leave alone, but I bring her in here and she starts raising hell. And, this is a puppy, so she wants to chew everything. I'm like, okay. And then it dawns on me, fuck. Like an idiot, I brought 0 chew toys. 0. So you got to improvise. Walking around here, what the fuck am I going to do? This dog needs something to chew on. And hanging up on the wall, you can't see it right now, is a spot for 5 kitchen utensils. And all those spots were occupied. Not anymore, though. I took this plastic spoon, and she is now chewing on the plastic spoon at Darla. On the plastic spoon as we speak. It's like a hard plastic, and so it's actually perfect. So I gave her the spoon. I said, here you go, destroy this. And she's doing it, and she's silent and content. That's what puppies do. Champions improvise, ladies and gentlemen. Maureen says, give her a stick. No, what the fuck is wrong with you? How could I? You know how easy it is for a dog to chew through a stick and then bits of timber go into the dog's stomach? The plastic holds together. This is hard plastic. Much harder to rip apart a plastic spoon than would be a dumb stick, you ding-dong. Don't you care for dogs? Do you go out in your yard and give your dog sticks? No. Come on now. The dog has to shit that out later on if it doesn't perforate its intestines. Holy cow. Hang on, coffee. All right, a little bit of background. I plotted and executed a ruse on the podcast in an attempt to see if it was taken, the bait, how quickly it would be taken. And it was taken very quickly. Now, not a lot of background because it's boring as hell. A year ago, a dozen or so audience members we got into a massive fight. There was a huge brawl. They left the show. I banned them, and then that was it. It was ugly. It's known as the Great Zaniac Exodus of 2022. Came and went, and that was the end of it. I could go into the gory details, but and some of it will come out as we talk, but I want to keep this hilarious as much as I can. There's some things that I will dispute based on what I'm about to play for you. But basically, it ended, it got ugly, and then this group of people is gone. Now, I mean, truth be told, many people who enjoy the show, they're like, oh, thank God. The way the chat was at the time, it was horrible. And a lot of people hated it. And I was getting frustrated with it too, but at the same time, I was like, well, I don't know how to, I'm not really having success in getting this to settle down in a particular way. So while still searching for that, there ended up being this massive blow up over Boring Dean coming to my house. And that set me off. And then once I lashed out at Dean over that, this pocket of people sided with Dean. Now, you got to understand, the people that we're talking about here are people who aren't really in the target audience of this show in its current state. You know, we're talking about people who believe that, like, Sound of Freedom is a documentary. Okay? They love playing Jason Aldean while hanging effigies of black people up at bonfires and shit. That's a joke. Relax. Tyler says, I just listened to that portion of yesterday's show and raised an eyebrow. LOL. Of course you did. That's called bait. Stand by. Because you know better. This group, not exceptionally bright, all fairly dim, nice when you're on the same page as them, but as we got off the page, things weren't so nice. After the great Zaniac exodus, that was it. We had people that supported on Patreon, and they went away, and that's it. Not a gigantic deal. They've been replaced. Whatever. Who cares? Life goes on. So, now, in part of my bait yesterday, I was indicating, supposedly the next Michigan get-together. Well, that's not going to happen. Well, of course I knew it was going to happen. Of course I knew that it happened. I heard from 2 or 3 people that some of the former show members were traveling to Michigan. And Kate in New Jersey and Melinda and Jessica, I believe, were going over to Mike Pellerito's, and all these former listeners were getting together for a party, and they were commemorating, I can't even say it with a straight face, commemorating the day when they were outcast. And, well, that's cute. I said nothing. Then somebody tipped me off that 1 week ago on the aforementioned Boomer Bunker show, these 2 gentlemen talked about your old pal EZ. Now, these 2 guys used to listen to the show. They both subscribed to Patreon. It was fine. But they developed a kinship with that show prior to the blow up with my show. In fact, I used to raid their channel. They used to go live right after me, and I would say, hey, go check out the Boomer Bunker. And the Boomer Bunker is, part of that QAnon right wing. So you can see where we wouldn't jive. The writing was on the wall. So when the Zaniacs, former Zaniacs, were outcast, they were all in on the Boomer Bunker show. Whatever. No big deal. Time passes. About 3-4 months ago, I get an email and a message from Patriot Nick. I'm backing up even further. And I swear to God, I don't even know if I can get it, but I might have deleted it, but he sent me an email, and his words were, I want you to know that I've forgiven you. I have forgiven you. And then he put a Bible verse on there, and he wanted to let me know that I was forgiven. And I was like, well, I'm not going to acknowledge this, nor am I going to talk about it, but I am now. Because, it's usually not the way it works. Typically, there's 2 sides to every story, and we had both said terrible things to each other. So if you're going to extend an olive branch, the chain of command, the hierarchy, if you will, usually results in, hey, we need to put this behind us. I'm sorry. How do you feel about that? And I would have immediately said, you're right. I'm sorry. I alluded to this the other day. Bleeding Heart Brian reached out to me, and he said that. And I immediately responded with, you're right. I don't know what the fuck we were fighting about. And then now we are on the same page. Great. I'll offer that to anyone. So, okay, fast forward to last week's Boomer Bunker show. And now at this point, I know that they're getting together at Mike's house for a Sound of Freedom watch party and whatever QAnon bullshit they do, and ingesting lots of chemicals and being overly intoxicated, and then getting in their cars and driving home, or whatever it is that they do. I don't know. Tyler writes, Quote, I forgive you for being a psycho fuckface, LOL. Corey says, cringe, Nick. While I was, we were leading up to this last week, I talked to Stevie, and she knows about this get-together, and Stevie thought she was a neutral party. So she reached out to Jessica from Tennessee and said, hey, I hear you and Melinda are coming to town. And that's what she wants to say. I want to get together. And Jessica picks up the phone, and Stevie says, hey. And she goes, how are you, Stevie? And Stevie says, it's Stevie. How are you? I hear you're coming to town. And she hangs up on Stevie. Stevie's like, uh-oh. And I go, she tells me that. And I go, oh. And I go, what happened? She goes, I don't know. Hold on. Darla. Oh, hang on. She's eating something. Stand by. Okay. This is the spoon, and this is the part I just fished out of her mouth. Plan B. Well, I guess that's that. I guess I should have given her a stick or something. I wish somebody would have suggested that. Stevie also revealed to me that Sexy Voice Andrea reached out to her and said, I thought you were my friend. I thought we were friends. Now, Stevie, I go, well, what did you do? What did you say? Did you make a comment or a joke in the chat? And she goes, I don't know. I guess that's possible, but they threw her under the bus, and I guess they're mad at her. All right, whatever. It sounds very childish right now when I describe it. I realize. Okay, so last week, I get tipped off that the Boomer Bunker has shots fired. And what's going to happen here is John's talking, and Pellerito sends pictures of how he is decorating his property. This is crazy. This is fucking nuts. How he is decorating his property at the We Hate Eric Zane Don't Cross the Line party. Hand to God, that's the party. If this wasn't proof that I made the right decision by distancing myself from these maniacs, I don't know what is. They drive from long distances to go to Mike's house where there's scarecrows constructed of me on the property with my face on it. Correct. Holy shit. And Mike sends the pictures along to their show while Bob's talking about whatever, or John's talking about whatever. Well, Bob puts it on the screen, and then John doesn't know anything. He wasn't involved in any of this. The only thing John knows is what he heard on my podcast. And I guess that's enough, but he's completely taken the all of the narrative and, he twisted it around to be his own convenient story. And that's fine. I do that all the fucking time. So you have to excuse me because I really want to get on a solid roll with this. But Darla needs assistance again. Stand by. Do not go anywhere. Holy shit. All right. And just be warned. If she starts to lose her shit again, I'm going to have to actually pick her up and put her in the other camper. So let's get after it. This is last week on their show. We pick it up with Bob, and you can actually see Bob smirking because he has the image of one of the Eric Zane scarecrows, and they're literally all over the property. my images in scarecrow form. Okay. Is that funny? Yes. Very funny. Is it crazy? Of fucking course. This is a year later after it was just a breakup. You know, you did something I don't like. I did something you don't like. Who cares? So, now Pellerito, he is known to go the extra mile. He will absolutely go far to continue to go for a laugh and to be as crazy as possible.
Would go and say, guess what? We're going to try to disprove this. And if they could disprove it, then, okay, it wasn't true. You don't have that anymore. We say it's this way. And if you say anything, you can shut the fuck up. What is this?
Mike's DMing me this right now.
This is
no parking at this line. No parking. And there's Eric.
Okay, there you go. So that's the big reveal. Now, honestly, prior to what John's about to do here, I wasn't going to acknowledge it because there was a lot of discussion on the former Zaniacs United page. There was this, and there was all sorts of chitter chatter about me making fun of that kid at the county commission meeting, and they were all offended by that. They were, oh my God, they were so distraught. And just for the record, that joke that I made, they would have loved that joke before they were so hurt. But now it's like, oh my God. Holy shit. I am so upset. I am so offended. Oh, for the love of God. And they're really bummed out about that. So I was following along with that all last week. Now, the only one in that group that I will actually give some intelligence to is Craig Danitz of Clearwater, Florida. Craig wants to attack me, but he often stops himself and says, let's stop talking about this. He's going to use this for content. And he's correct. However, I wasn't committed to it by just Facebook messages on Castaways United but when I get audio video proof, then I start, what do I do? I don't know. So I sat on the video that I'm playing you right now for 1 week, and I wasn't going to eat. I was already forgetting about it until last night. And then I was, after I saw, and you're going to see it all, after I saw yesterday's video, I was walking around and I go, should I not? Should I not? And I said to myself, I'm going to, but I'm not like mad. I'm not like full of rage. I'm pleased because yesterday I threw it out in a bombastic, ridiculous way. None of it was true, of course. And I had to do that in order to get what happened yesterday to happen. And I wasn't sure if it was going to happen. I'm getting ahead of myself. I apologize. Let's go back to 1 week ago. They are exploring the Eric Zane scarecrows at the Pellerito residence.
There's Eric sitting there making sure nobody goes over the line, no one crosses the line.
There's more. I got to look to see what they are. Yeah.
Oh, this is at Mike's house. This is okay. So,
okay. Now, at this point, funny, whatever. But then John and Bob unload. Now, John's the unloader. Bob is Bob. Introvert. Doesn't really have a lot to say. When he does, there's not a lot of brain power behind it. I mean, I'm not, and I know that sounds mean and insulting, but okay. Jamingo actually, I think, is pretty bright. Bob is not.
The former Zaniacs.
Yeah, it's the front of his driveway. He says, waiting for people to get here.
Yeah, that.
And Mike sent it along, knowing full well it would be on the show. This is all what they plan to do. 1 year ago is when this happened. And they're having a fucking party to commemorate. Well, all right. And they've got scarecrows of EZ everywhere.
Is fucking hysterical. So this all started back when Dean crossed the line and went to his house and played a practical joke. And then that became a thing. And then little by little, Eric went and alienated a bunch of his hardcore fans. And thank God they came over here because they are the nicest, funniest people.
Yeah, they're awesome people, man.
Absolutely awesome.
I wish we didn't live so far away because this is a group I'd like to hang out with on a regular basis. Like,
yeah,
exactly. And that tells you what type of people these are.
Absolutely.
Good fucking people.
So the Duchess and a bunch of other fans from Tennessee have all traveled up to Michigan. And Mike's having a party this afternoon. And they should be getting there right about now. And Mike went out there and put a line and made a scarecrow, put Eric's face on it. That is fucking outstanding.
Yeah, see, Eric lives in a cul-de-sac, and he was having a big...
So now they're going to go and gloss over, give you the basic details, which they get about 10% of this story right. Honestly, there's so much of it that, I mean, if I really wanted to unpack it, it would be more annoying than entertaining, honestly. But they get some of it right.
Big shit on his show because I guess they were doing like a neighborhood yard sale, and he was concerned because he wasn't partaking in the yard sale, but he didn't want his mailbox blocked with all the cars, the customers coming to these yard sales, blocking his mailbox.
Does Bob blink excessively?
So Dean, being the hilarious human that he is,
another point where we divide.
Ball breaking guy that he is.
Went to Eric's house.
They describe that moment as just a joke, ball breaking. I beg to differ.
House and parked his car in front of his mailbox, and
now in front of the driveway. So
people come to my house. Dean would do that regularly. Just bang on the door unannounced, and I was like, boy, okay. There was even one moment when he and John's going to discuss it, but he gets it wrong. On Halloween, he sent his kid to the door, and I opened it. I was wearing a mask. I was like, who is this? And then Dean brought this up with Diana, and Diana reluctantly agreed to let him do that. And then Dean comes around the corner wearing a hockey mask and his chainsaw revving. I'm like, what the fuck? Oh, hey, hi. Kids are like, holy shit, what's going on over there? Dean always thinks that these are great, funny things, and they're not. And I had become fed up with that whole behavior, despite numerous conversations about, hey, can you please give me this buffer? I mean, anybody who's listened to me for any amount of time knows, stay away from my home. Let's not do that. And it continued to happen. When it happened this time, I got pissed off.
Yeah. So Eric called 911 on him.
Yeah. And then, Dean got out and then they canceled. Or did he call 911? See, there's different stories where he said he called 911, but he didn't.
Okay. What he's talking about there is, and that's been a long-standing argument. And regardless, it doesn't make a difference. I said I wasn't going to rehash this, but I have to. When I saw Dean, and he was laying down in the front seat of his car in front of my driveway, and I pull up and I'm like, what the fuck? Did somebody actually do this? Holy shit, what do I do? Call 911. Precisely as they pick it up, Dean lifts his head up and starts and is videoing my reaction. And I'm like, oh, fuck. I hang it up. I yell at Dean. I go, quit crossing the line. Get the fuck out of here. And he left. I went home, and then I started thinking, do I need to call the cops and report this guy? I mean, is this where we're at? And I was angry. So I did, probably 20, 30 minutes later. Now, that turned out to be a massive bone of contention because Pellerito, who is a stalker as well, I shouldn't say that, does stalker-like things from time to time, does a FOIA and gets the 911 activity at about that time. And that first call, there is no record of it. So they are like, well, he's a liar. That is a bold-faced lie. And I'm like, well, no, I did. But even if I was, what does it fucking matter? That's not the point here. Okay? Now, you can deflect all you want and have that be the big reason that you hate me, but I can't convince you otherwise. So that's what he's referring to at this point in time.
Call 911. He called 911 afterwards, I think. I can't really remember.
Called
the story.
twice.
Whatever it was. It was a bitch-ass move.
I couldn't keep it.
I can't remember the story, but no, you can. But yeah, you're telling everybody what happened, and then he says it's a bitch-ass move. Well, all right. I disagree because Dean's a creep.
Up with it.
Yeah.
Well, then after that, that kind of opened the door for him to take a shit on everybody who loves his show.
Kate writes 911 was called much later. They were called twice. And then Bob's mad because then, I'm still going to be me. I am going to make you the butt of my jokes. All of those people. At that point, the gloves are off. All those people hate me. So who gives a fuck? Whatever.
Donates to him, big fucking,
And I'm going to be stopping this a lot. Bob is like, yeah, they donate to you. No, I don't take donations. I provide something. And if someone chooses to partake in it, that's up to them. I have never begged for money in any way. I do a show. And if it happens to work out that way where there's a monetary transaction, that's not a donation. I give something, they give something, you give something. That's how commerce works, Bob.
Like supporters of his, both and
this has been a long-standing thing. We've done so much for you, Eric. We did this for you. We support you. Correct. But if people do nice things for me on one day and then treat me like shit the next day, it's what have you done for me lately? And these numbskulls have never been able to process that. They've never been able to get it through their thick heads. They think that because they felt bad for me for a period of time and built me a studio and whatever they did. There's a ton of things they've done for me. That gives them carte blanche so that they always get a pass and that they can take liberties with me and treat me like shit. Well, I'm sorry, but it doesn't work that way.
Being there every day, active in the chat.
The active in the chat was not a bonus. That was never a bonus. That was a distraction.
As well as giving him, money support.
Yeah, I mean, and, Nick is one of the guys that are
very generous
to a fucking fault. This guy
constantly donating, subs to his Twitch channel, all this stuff, giving him, money, bits, all this stuff, and
thousands and thousands, like $30,000 a year.
Okay, John just indicated that Nick gave me $30,000 a year. Nick has not earned $30,000 in his life. Okay? Give me a break.
Mike did a lot of production for
show notes. Wrote him show notes.
The show notes. Ladies and gentlemen, the show notes are back. Oh my God.
A lot of shit.
Yeah.
For free.
Yeah.
Because he's a fan. He wanted to help.
Also, when he got fired from free beer and hot wings, they went over there and they took like this room that's over his garage and they made it into a recording station or recording studio, and did all this help.
Nick.
And then how does he repay him? He just
dumps all over him. Oh, well, then he shit talked everybody,
right?
And then he was
That part's very true.
He's going after others for things that happened.
That's how fights work, Bob. You moron. You should know. You're in one with your wife.
You know, like people that like babysat or all this other shit, crazy shit
I don't know what that means. Babysitting. I've tried to piece it together in my head. And I think maybe one of my kids babysat Andrea's kids. That's the only thing that it could be, because I think I should have my parenting rights taken away if I had Andrea babysit my kids. Holy shit.
People that have helped him left and right. And he just took a shit on everybody. And
that's how it goes, Bob.
By one.
Yeah, one by one. But
they act like I just wake up and go after random people for doing nothing. So I asked the members of the chat, how come I haven't attacked you? How come I haven't hurt you? Okay, this is classic behavior by people that support a show like this. Again, these are not the brightest bulbs, okay? Jamingo has some intelligence. I'll give him that. He displays it regularly. And he is the ringleader of this, and he is taking advantage of it. Good for him. I do the same thing.
He did a big
until, of course, it blows up in his face.
Thing in the show, like just calling people during his show and making
I think Bob's motor is powered by blinking. I think he doesn't actually eat. I think he generates electrical impulses by blinking over and over again.
Just making an ass out of him, that kind of thing, trying to make him like a lol cow or something. I don't know. Like, you don't do that to your fucking listeners.
Well, the thing was...
disagree. I do that to former listeners, and I continue to.
Sparky, so what happened was the neighborhood was having a yard sale. Eric's family was not participating, but they were all parked in the cul-de-sac where he lives, and they had blocked his driveway. So then he came on and talked about it, and that's what... But what Eric would do was Eric started telling stories about Dean or what happened. And these other people were like
Corey makes a good comment. He says, I love the complete lack of tact, taking responsibility for their part in this.
Catching them in fucking lies. Like they were catching them lies. And then he turned his guns on them because he was lying.
Oh, that is so... He is so full of shit. I've told you everything that's happened. And John's, if I've ever, I admit freely when I attack someone. And I wholeheartedly accept the fact that I attacked them and they deserved that. That's how you handle trash, white, bigoted scumbags. And that's what these are.
Well, like Dean had been to Eric's home. He'd had, dinner with him, like that kind of thing. So Dean was a listener of the show, but he was
No. He was at a barbecue I had for that group. Prior to the blow up, we had a pool party and they came over. That was the one where Tyler, who's right here in the chat right now, was there with his wife. I found out after the fact, not right away, that they left, Tyler and his lovely wife. I go, why did you leave? He says, Dean was being very, very creepy to my wife, and she felt uncomfortable and unsafe. That was the time Dean had dinner over my house. Ugh.
Mild, I would say like a family friend, though.
And I was trying to bridge the gap between normal people like Tyler and them. Because I kind of I had to be careful. I didn't know. Because they did support me and they hadn't quote unquote crossed the line at that point. So I was like, boy, what do I do? I'm kind of in a tough spot. I don't want to alienate them, but at the same time, this is weird. So I was grappling with that. So when this finally did blow up, I said, fuck it. That's when I had been thinking it for a long time, but keeping it to myself. But then when it got really weird with all these stalker behavior, then it's like, okay, enough. And we're better off because of that. So it worked out.
almost at that point, right? I mean, you eat dinner in my home, and I don't throw you out, then you're probably safe to say that I'm a friend of the family.
He was an acquaintance, and a listener. And someone says, "What the hell did he do?" I can't speak for Tyler. He is here, but I don't know if it was a glance, if it was holding a gaze too long. It doesn't matter. Tyler's wife felt uncomfortable, and that kind of comes with the territory in interactions with him. It's never good. Never good. Amanda says, I mean, I never liked Dean, but never thought he was creepy. Yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe you're not to the liking of him. Maybe he likes Tyler's wife. And I don't mean to sound mean, but maybe he didn't want to have sex with you. I have no idea. I'm just throwing that out there. I know that you were the punching bag earlier this week and rightfully deserved. Oh, my God. But you're back now, and I love you for that. Your skin is thick. Their skin is not. All right. Very refreshing writes, it's sometimes just a gut feeling when it comes to creeps. Amanda writes, what the fuck? All right. This show might be all about this. So this all goes back to Craig Danitz of Clearwater, Florida. You are correct. And again, I sat on this until last night. And then I said, I have such a wonderful amount of content here. I have to share this. I have to. So Craig called it, He's not an idiot. Oh, shit.
As long as I have my...
Oh, shit. I hit the wrong button.
Especially powerful.
You could have a debate.
As human that he is.
Ball bust.
Take a shit on everybody.
And then how does he repay him?
He had been to Eric's home. He'd had, dinner with him, like that kind of thing. So Dean was a listener of the show, but he was a mild, I would say like a family friend almost at that point.
I used to make excuses for Dean too.
Point, right?
Mm-hmm.
You eat dinner in my home, and I don't throw you out, then you're probably safe to say that I'm a friend of the family, right?
So does that mean he has carte blanche to do whatever he wants, Bob, when he's at your one-bedroom home, or what?
Okay. No. That could have been handled so much better in so many different ways. But for some reason, Eric just lost his fucking mind and still loses.
So, he's like, oh yeah, a year later, this could have been done way different. I don't know, maybe. You weren't there. You have no idea what happened. You have no concept of being able to relate to it. So that's very easy to say, I
haven't listened to his show in months.
Dean was like always trying to come up with little gags, right, for Eric, or to do to Eric for the show, for content. Yeah. And one of them was I guess Dean had contacted Eric's wife. Yeah. Somehow they know each other in that way. I don't know. And I guess Eric has a basement that his wife has been after him for years to paint.
Yes.
And he hasn't painted it yet. Well, Dean wanted to, go down there and act like he was painting the basement whenever Eric got home one day.
Yes.
And I guess Eric felt that was crossing a line or too far, something like that.
Correct. Now, you see, you're all hearing that and you're going, well, what the fuck? Of course that's crossing the line. What a suggestion. And Dean would always be like, it's for the show. That's where that whole gag came from. He would actually say, yeah, it's for the show. Bob's like, yeah, that's cool. Okay, so now, since you're all normal, you're hearing that and you're going, well, that's it right there. Oh, my God. Amanda says, I thought it was funny as hell. Maureen says, LOL, Corey. Corey says, Eric is a voice that comes out of my phone. That's what she's talking about the relationship. Maureen says, wait, if they turn on them, then will they understand? I doubt that's going to happen. Corey says, didn't they dangle the $10 Patreon fee and they tried to threaten you to talk about what they wanted? I don't remember the specifics. I do remember in a fit of rage, Pellerito did say, you want to lose my $10 too? I was coming home from here. When I called him. And he like screamed me down and motherfucked me. You want to lose another $10? Oh. You know what's crazy about this is I feel bad for my boy Joe Pellerito, Mike's brother, who's, he's kind of caught in the middle. He supports the show. He listens, and he's been nothing but supportive. And so I'm guessing they don't talk about this. It's like we don't talk about politics, religion, or easy at the Pellerito family gatherings.
So. There's probably... demasculating him where, he's making him feel less of a man because his wife's got another man coming over to do manly chores that Eric won't do.
Okay, now that's hilarious, actually. Look, he's laughing when he says it. He knows he can't even say it with a straight face.
Well, he'll almost cut off his own foot with a fucking chainsaw, but he won't go and paint a basement.
What? Bob just said, yeah, you almost cut off your foot, but you won't paint a basement. Okay, are you suggesting that cutting off my foot is a chore that my wife wanted to do? Because that doesn't make any sense. Again, Bob, John, pretty funny. Bob is, okay, he's dim. Very dim. Yeah, look at you. Look at you. You're going to do that chore of cutting off your foot, but then you won't go paint the basement?
Well, yeah. Well, that's the other thing his wife did. His wife had Dean come over and play a practical joke during Halloween. Yeah. At the joke,
Dean asked. My wife reluctantly agreed. Is what happened. Again, did not want to offend. Thought, all right, I guess.
Was that Dean took the chain off a chainsaw, but still had it run.
No, he still had the chainsaw with the fully armed chain.
And so he comes around the corner. Chainsaw and like going after Eric, and Eric probably shit his pants. I would have shit my pants.
A little.
Yeah,
there's nothing wrong with shitting your pants when someone comes after you with a fucking chainsaw. But it happens.
The odd thing about Dean is that he seems like the nicest guy. When we're hanging out with him, where we're doing the video chats, he seems like such a well-educated, nice guy.
Okay. Again, Bob doesn't have the wits or the sensibility to pick out the flaws.
Yeah.
Good dad.
Yeah.
Okay, now this is where it gets really good. Because you saw John go, and he kind of shook his hand. He's disagreeing with Bob. Now, this is one of my favorite parts of all of this. Because they've done this full-on attack a week ago that, again, I didn't plan on talking about this, mind you. I was going to let it go until last night when they did it again. At this point, after all of these... Fuck Eric, Dean's great. Listen to what Jamingo says now out of the other side of his mouth about Dean.
There's something, although there is something with Dean. He's got a little, I'm going to say, a sexual deviance about him.
What just happened? Dean has a sexual deviance. Huh. You picked up on John. John, you picked up that he has a sexual deviance about him, yet I'm the asshole because I don't want this man sneaking into my house and taking pictures with my wife. Huh. Now, those aren't my words. Those are his words. It's at this point that John has exhausted his awareness of the conversation. Remember I said he's got some smarts. Some. At this point, they're gone. Oh, my God.
You mean like Nick?
No, not as much. No.
Nick's just a pervert. Like right. In that, like his.
Oh, okay. So you got a sexual deviant and a pervert. Huh. Now, these are their words. And we can't figure out why Eric's being an asshole to him. We're supposed to be nice to sexual deviants and perverts. Ladies and gentlemen, the amount of restraint I had to have in the past week to not play this right here was ridiculous. I grappled with it for several days. Just because of the words that they say to indict these themselves. Oh, my God. They are literally doing the heavy lifting for your old pal EZ. I'm just listening to the fucking thing with you. Oh, my God.
Thoughts are gutter.
Yeah, Dean's got this like sexual, and I don't mean this in a bad way. How do you make it in a good way? But I'm just saying.
Good question, Bob. Or John. I keep getting these two mixed up. I don't know how you take sexual deviance in a good way. Please explain it to me.
Hey, he's got that certain. He says things every once in a while where you go, wait, what?
Correct. Thank you very much, John Domingo, for explaining that your friend Dean is a sexual deviant and says weird shit.
Deviant?
Yeah, there's a little
I've
bit.
never really noticed that about him, so.
Oh, you're
dumb.
You're in the same boat with him, to be quite honest with you.
Oh,
fuck you.
Like last night, you were sitting there talking about how big your cock was, and you could not stop.
I know it annoys you. Because I know it annoys you, so I just was layering it on.
I know.
It was funny.
We don't kink shame. Hey, I kink shame. I definitely kink shame.
I think he's getting a phone call now or something.
Fucking Jimmy.
Not the Jimmy. How do I turn this off? Okay.
Mute.
I just muted it.
I would throw stones, but I have technical issues all the time.
It's a potential spam. So
That's every call for me, even when it's my contact list people.
well, that just says wrong. What's wrong? What did I say that was wrong?
Now, Kate Creer is witnessing this, and now she's correcting John and saying, no, he's not a sexual deviant.
Not the Jimmy, probably.
That Dean has a little bit of a he's got a little bit of a creepy, every once in a while he comes up with like a creepy vibe.
I would like to have to take the time to put in further perspective and put a finer point on how much of a creep Dean is. But I don't have to. John's done it for us. He is doubling down when the woman that he wants to have sex with, Kate, is reaching out to him and saying, no, Dean's not a creep. And he goes, oh, yeah, he is.
Maybe that I'm
Is that what's
that I'm a
wrong?
little weird like that too. I do things for.
What a fucking Christopher Nolan, M. Night Shyamalan plot twist on this. This started out as anti-Eric, and now they're murdering Dean.
Comical reasons, even if it only makes me laugh.
Yeah,
Everything's a joke, man.
I understand.
Life is.
Yeah, I know. That's what I do, Bob. Joke.
Don't take life too seriously.
At this point, John is texting back and forth with his lover, Kate, and about arguing. They're arguing now about how creepy Dean is.
Because you never get out of
You can
the
hear him
lie.
rat-a-tat-tatting on the thing.
Because he's fucking around with all of us, Duchess says. So, yeah, from what I could tell about him.
Yeah, no, I get that. I understand it. He's doing it. It's a joke.
And I would tell Dean, hey, enough. And he would never get it. Never.
But it's got that creepy,
That's a triple down. He is now tripling down on it.
perverted vibe. That's all. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying he's a creepy pervert.
Yes, you did. You called him a sexual deviant, John.
I'm just saying that since
How can I be playing your clip? I mean, how can you're actually twisting it as you're saying it? How do you do that?
it's a humor side of him.
He could
comes off
play
as a-
one. Yeah,
Thank you, Bob. He can play a creepy pervert.
Oh, okay.
I'm not saying he is a creepy pervert.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying he plays
So it's up to us to figure it out when he's in front of our house.
a very good creepy pervert.
Okay.
That's all. That's all I'm saying.
like me. I mean,
Nice guy. Love Dean.
On this show, I'm a
But he's a sexual deviant, according to John.
complete fucking moron, right? But in real life, I'm just an actual idiot. totally different.
Correct.
Tyler says he just Rick James'd us.
Next thing you know, Dean will be sending me pictures. You've crossed the line.
Be careful. You don't know. Hang in there. Just wait. Ryan says this should be Who Are These Boomers? So I'm nearly an hour into this. This is probably going to be the show today. We have a lot to cover. I have yesterday's episode, too, where they ripped me a new one with Kate. And one of the audience members who I already tipped off about this, who's watching right now, gets murdered. Holy shit.
I've got a palate cleanser from Mike, but it's from like 3 weeks ago, or sorry, over a month ago. I don't know if I want to watch it.
Duchess says, it's dark humor, but he's not a perv.
That's Kate weighing in. She's had it with this slamming of Dean by John.
Holy shit, look at this thing. Then into mainline.
All right, that's that. Okay, so now we got to process that. And then, Ryan says this is and should be Who Are These Boomers? A one-off episode of Who Are These Boomers is as we review the Boomer Chunker Show. Excellent. Didn't you make a parody song called Creepy Dean to the tune of Daydream Believer? No. I made a parody song to the song Creep by Radiohead. It was fucking great. All right. Now, 6 days ago is when that happened. And there was various conversations on the Zaniacs United page. And they were beating me up. They were having a good time with that. And they were beating me up because of the joke I said about the kid at the commission meeting. And they couldn't get past it. They're like, oh, my God, he's a pedophile. He is a pedophile. And I'm like, what? Those were the jokes that those people loved the most. So, I don't know. You can't, unless they've had some great awakening as to what makes them laugh. But, you know, when they aren't a fan of EZ, those jokes are not funny. They don't like that. All right. Sliding scale, I get it. You don't like me. That's how it goes. But I sat on it. I was quiet. And then yesterday, my pal Corey, known on his podcast as Soft Weekly, is part of the In the Paint podcast. Corey is on that show with John Jamingo. John here does that show as well. And Corey was listening to John's show yesterday and said, easy. Let's see. Holy shit, Jamingo is going after you. I said, he is? What's up? I haven't, I'm not listening. He says he was talking shit big time. I didn't get it because I thought you and him were cool. I'm clipping it now. I'd love to talk to you about it. So there you go. Then I watched what he suggested I watch. And we're going to watch it too. But before I do that, I need to kick out the folks on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And if you are watching on that, you're like, no, it's just getting good. Well, that's the way it goes. You know, I'm trying to get you to sign up for Twitch. Download the Twitch app and search Eric Zane Live, all one word, and you can get the show for free. Follow it so you know when I go live each morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. We go till about 10. And subscribe if you like. You can do that for free if you link up your Amazon Prime account. That way, if you're subscribed, that gives you the opportunity to get the show minus commercials, because Amazon throws commercials in on their own to pay for the platform. I do not do that. And there's a lot. It's like 9 commercials at like random times throughout the show. So do that. Thank you very much. If you are following right now, I appreciate it if you've done that. As well, send me an email on the Shoreliner Striping inbox, eric@ericzaneshow.com. Audio podcast, wherever you download shows. I am on all of them. Please subscribe, rate, and review if they have that option for you. And if you are subscribed, you will get the show, the audio of what I'm doing right now, showing up in your inbox automatically. So that's not bad. That's how I do it. All right. So Facebook, Twitter, or X, I guess, and YouTube, I say goodbye now. Twitch and Facebook brought to you by Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid and EV. Twitter brought to you by Blue Frost IT. Local direct sponsors, most of them. I appreciate them very much. It allows me to do what I do for a job. In fact, I do want to do a full-on spot break here for the sponsors. First of all, the open and live stream is brought to you by A&E Heating and Cooling. Thank you to Senor Martinez for just signing up for another quarter of marketing with the EZ Show. If you need your AC serviced, 616-516-8579. It's that simple. If you have not got that thing tuned up for the heating season or the cooling season, which we are in the throes of right now, don't run it without that. You should still do it. Don't just summer's more than half over. I'm not even going to be using the AC that much. Well, every time you use that thing without a tune-up or a service in the rearview mirror, like recently, it makes that deal work harder, and it shortens the life of it. That is a finite lifespan on your AC. So keep it running appropriately. And besides, when it's not tuned and cleaned, it doesn't run as efficiently, so you're going to use more energy to cool your home. This is all just $79. That way you officially, quote unquote, have a guy. So that in the event that something does go south, you call that guy, Joe Martinez, or his son-in-law, David, will be sent out to help you. 616-516-8579. Another amazing sponsor is Irvine's Auto Repair, Grand Rapids Hybrid and EV, 616-532-6600. Irvines.com, 616-532-6600. Centered right in the middle of Grand Rapids, Michigan. If you are on 44th Street, just a few blocks east of 131, there's a street called Stafford. That's where they are. They recently did a renovation, doubling the size of their service bays to be able to serve the public even more. They offer free loaner cars, early bird pickup, early bird drop-off, late bird pickup. All there for you. Irvines.com. E-R Vines. That's ERVines.com. All right. Okay, next in this awesome saga, which I'm tickled about. Yesterday on this show, in a one-off moment, I stumbled upon the idea of, in my brain, it wasn't like I said, I am going to talk about this now. I stumbled upon the idea of, let me back up to the Nick email. I wonder if I can get it. I doubt it. I might have deleted it. No. I don't want to waste the time. If I get it, I'll share it with you at a later point. He DM'd me on Twitter. Hang on. No. It doesn't matter. He DM'd me and he also sent me an email, and the email was like, hey, in case you missed this. All right, I've been podcasting for going on 5 years, and one of my favorite things of all time is the fact that HelloFresh is part of the Eric Zane Show podcast. Now, let me get to the chase here. Cut to the chase. No one says get to the chase. Let me cut to the chase here. You're going to end up going to HelloFresh.com/Zane50, and then you'll also use the code Zane50 for 50% off. Plus free shipping. I'm telling you, man, oh my God, this amazing, amazing product is delivered right to your door. The cold stuff stays cold, and everything else is sent to you in pre-portioned packages so that you can cut down on all the extra garbage that you would have to buy if you were making these amazing recipes from buying stuff at the grocery store. And then it's just incredible, the stuff that you can make. Make your home the hangout place all summer long with crowd-pleasing eats. From a backyard bratwurst bar to tangy key lime pie. Can you imagine making key lime pie? HelloFresh Market makes summer entertaining a cinch. HelloFresh, take a bite out of summer from chef-crafted seasonal recipes to their new fresh and fit summer menu. HelloFresh brings flavor right to your door. One of my favorite things is when you plate the food and whoever you're serving it to is like, what the heck? Did you do this? Did you buy this? No, I made it. It's HelloFresh. And you do it all in the comfort of your home, featuring quality proteins, fresh produce, and plans for many lifestyles. It's no wonder why HelloFresh is America's #1 meal kit. Go to HelloFresh.com/Zane50 and use promo code Zane50, Zane50 for 50% off plus free shipping. Once again, HelloFresh.com/Zane50 and then use the code Zane50 for 50% off plus free shipping. EZ loves HelloFresh. Here's what I have to say. And it opened with, I forgive you. I was like, that doesn't feel right. And I explained it. And then he had a Bible verse. I was like, that's just weird. I don't want to do that. I don't want to go down this road. And I didn't want to say, well, you have to say sorry first, because he does. This guy put me through hell and back on social media. Not only when all that happened, but then when I got in trouble with a cease and desist from any old Joe, this dude, he was making accounts just to tell me to go fuck myself and calling me a cunt coward and all. And I would just block him. Block. And he's just going hard. So that ended. Fast forward to the I forgive you letter. And I could have said, well, you got to say sorry first. But I was like, fuck that. If he doesn't know better, like an adult would, no. So I ignored it. But then he followed up on Zaniacs United, or whatever it's called now, with, hey, everybody, I have decided it's Bible study time. Now, I can't really fault anybody for wanting to do Bible study. But you got to understand the mindset of these people. These are the type of people who hijack Christianity, who take Christianity and mutate it to fit their own ideas and views of the world. Okay? Imagine QAnon, Oath Keepers, storm the Capitol, shit like that. Hating transgender people. If you were to go to that page, every time you turn around, there's another insult to transgender people. And they think it's hilarious. That's the ilk. That's the kind of like the underbelly of this. That's who we're dealing with here. So at the end of the day, as more and more of that creeps in, and you get a lot of wild, and then they're all anti-vaccine, eat your ivermectin, all that crazy shit. Oh, my God. After dismissing them, I'm like, boy, I'm glad I did that. I'm embarrassed that I was trying to toe the line for extended time to keep them happy. But, now that they're gone and I see that they always show their ass in that regard, I wouldn't want someone listening to me who behaved that way. I don't like that. But as of last night, I wasn't planning on saying anything, ladies and gentlemen. Maureen says I'm blocked from that page. Ryan calls them MAGA extremists. That is true. Maureen says he forgives you but doesn't apologize or ask for forgiveness from you, which I would have done that. I would have said, hey, forget it, man. No problem. In fact, yesterday I was being silly, but if today they said, hey, this is stupid, we got to work this out, I'm sorry, I'd say, fuck yes, forget it. so am I. I would do that. So yesterday, I'm trolling. I go on here, and this over-the-top dynamic of, these are the people who are blocked, and I will allow them back into the fold if they bend the knee and beg forgiveness. Now, at the time, I thought, this might catch on. It might not. I don't know. A lot of times when I do stuff like that, I want to see where it goes. But I didn't think it would take off as quickly as it did. Because hours later, John and Bob are aware of what has happened. And they're taking it like super literal. They actually believe that I believe that. And so when I got the information that John was killing me, I was like, well, fuck yes. So let's get after it. Kate is a sidekick on the show. I think that John and her are having sex a lot. Just a theory, alleged. Now, from what I gather with Kate, she does a lot minus her husband, Paul. A lot. And, I often raise an eyebrow at that. You got a husband and wife in really separate orbits. If we're going to if they're going to speculate, I'm going to speculate here. There might be something going on between those two. For sure, there's trouble in paradise with our boy Paul, who is the significant other, the husband of Kate. So I'm just saying that. I'm just throwing that out there. I mean, if we're in a throwing it out there mode, I'm going to throw that out there. You do a lot of shit without your husband. I mean, I'm attached at the hip with my wife. I wasn't always, but that's a story for another day. Anyway. Okay, let's get into this. They have now seen what I said yesterday when I was saying, you must bend the knee, and these are the people who are blocked. And John has planned this to be a big part of his show yesterday.
And kept going in there like fucking 10-year-olds and flushing the toilet, like, look at the poop, Okay,
Kate is reviewing the hijinks that went on when she visited Michigan for the I Hate Eric Zane party.
It was just ridiculous.
How loaded were they? They had to be like...
They were not. I'd like to
really
that. No.
They're a former Eric Zane fan, so they like shit.
Yeah.
Bob, from the guy who brought us, he'll cut off his foot, but he won't paint his basement, gives us their Eric Zane show, former Eric Zane show listeners, so they like shit. Bob, the fucking anatomy of that joke, you're saying your show is shit. Bob, stop trying to tell jokes. Okay? Yeah, that's twice now that you've bombed hard. Oh, my God, Bob.
Yeah. Yeah.
Kate goes, yeah.
Mr. Decaf, it definitely should have been like a sealed one for sure.
Okay, she's referencing a comment.
Or sealed mask.
So.
Okay, now it's important to note that there is a big insult coming towards one of the audience members. Before we get to the insult by John to one of the audience members that's enjoying this right now, very nice lady, you got to know that Kate's hair is dark with a white stripe. Dark with a white stripe. I think it looks great, actually. I've always thought her hair was very, very pretty. I still maintain that her hair is very pretty, and I maintain that she has an excellent voice, and I always loved her laugh. But John is going to insult this audience member of mine, but he's going to insult Kate here at the same fucking time. Holy shit, John can't get out of his own way. First he calls Dean a sexual deviant, and then he's going to do this.
The reason... Okay, so let me go back in the Wayback Machine.
Okay, so now he's going to rehash all the shit that he did last week and what I've talked with you today.
Way back.
A couple years ago, I melt down on a podcast, and it becomes all the rage. It went viral. Donut, 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 fat, fat, fat. It just happened to be Cringe of the Week on WATP, who Eric Zane was a guest there, and he thought it was amazing.
You talking about poop? Sorry.
Okay.
What? Talking about poop. Okay, I'm poop, guys.
So then he takes it to his show, and then you guys seem to find it funny. And then I ended up going over to watch his show. And then, being in the chat, I found all you guys and just an amazing bunch of people. I mean, you and Nick and Mike and Lisa. I don't want to leave anybody out, but I mean, all of you.
He didn't say Dean.
Just amazing bunch of people.
Because the previous week he called him a sexual deviant and a pervert. 3 times.
And then last week we talked about how Eric had lost his fucking mind, or I don't know what's going on with him. Right. But he started one by one attacking his best fans. So
yes, he did.
Now,
they constantly harp on that. Like, I was just doing it because I thought it was fun. And we've covered that. It couldn't be further from the truth. Anyone that I've ever been pissed off at or yelled at or banned or blocked, I've done it because they've done something to me. Now, in some cases, I work it out. In other cases, I don't. Those are relationships. That's how it works. That's how it works. Like Kenny, I fought with him so many times. Why did I patch it up with Kenny? Because he's worth it. Because I value Kenny. It's worth it to get into a fight with Kenny. It's worth it to get into a fight with Amanda. It just has a higher plateau. But with these people, I'm like, well, they're all scumbags anyway. I got to just fucking cut and run. So fuck them. And everything I've ever said came from a comment on a Facebook page. When I get slugged, I do slug back. That's how it goes. I don't understand why you can just sit there and make up a scenario where I'm just ripping on people for the sake of ripping on them.
You guys are here, and I couldn't be happier because a nicer bunch.
I couldn't either.
Of people and biggest.
It's an echo chamber, is what it is.
Fans, and I'm fans of you. I mean, there's stuff that you guys do, and Kate's here with us.
Hate blacks.
Now on the show.
Hate gays.
So
love Trump.
Your old pal Eric could not resist of trying to take another shot. So
this can't let it go. Yeah.
This was
so they're accusing me of not letting it go yesterday, when last week John blistered me
on his show today. Let me just pump this up because his audio was shit. But let's try it here.
My audio's fine.
And again, it's probably my fault too.
I think so. Somebody suggested to me, EZ, who is blocked from the show right now? I talked to you about I am open to the Zaniacs bending the knee, the former Zaniacs. I would do that because the word on the street is that they are. Lisa Krantz, with her fucking helmet haircut, writes, "Boo! Loser!" Considering. So this couldn't have worked better. Yesterday's ridiculousness by me, they have now picked it up, and they're going to completely talk about it here, which fucking reel it in, baby. Reel it in. You know, a troll is two things. Lives under a bridge and does troll-like things. It's also trolling the line in the water. And holy shit, they are playing my show to the 187 followers of the Boomer Bunker. Coming back to the show.
Liar.
Nobody's.
Nick says Eric's here too. He just isn't commenting. No, I wasn't there. I watched it after. But Nick, do you still forgive me? Wait a minute. Nick is on the attack. I guess he doesn't forgive me anymore, ladies and gentlemen. Ooh.
Nobody's considering coming back. Nobody that you torched on your soon-to-be published list, wants to come back.
I know.
You want to tell your other fans that.
Okay, again, John's now just speaking from emotion. He's worn out his intelligence. He doesn't understand what I'm doing here. And John bought it, hook, line, and sinker. And I'm just so happy. Thank you, John.
He has such a great show that they need to come back. To be honest with you, the chat was the best part of the show.
All right. So you get where John's coming from with that comment.
Yeah.
And you guys aren't in there anymore. Now,
the chat was the best part of the show. You know, where fucking Adam is typing out song lyrics. Yeah, that was great. Everybody misses that.
Now, we also have that skunk-headed bitch Stevie in there who stirs up trouble. I mean, my God. Talk about having somebody's nose up somebody's ass.
John just said, in the presence of a woman who has a white stripe through her dark hair, Stevie, that skunk-headed bitch. God damn it. And I called Stevie before the show. That's the person he dogged. I called, hey, John calls you a skunk-headed bitch. I didn't want you to be shocked and then not be able to enjoy the rest of the show. I'm just calling you to let you know that. Stevie is in the dark, hand to God, as to why they don't like her anymore. Because, again, she reached out to Jessica about getting together with them because she knew that they were coming to town. And she hung up on her.
Jesus Christ, if Eric ever stopped Bass, she'd break a cheekbone.
What? God, we're really seeing the limits on the wit of these two.
That being said.
Courtesy laugh from Kate.
Yes. Well, there's a lot. Yeah, there's quite a few folks I'm a little disappointed in. So
well, whatever.
Who, Kate? Spread the news. I'd love to hear. Who are you quite disappointed in, and why? I mean, if we're being honest here, we're talking about honesty. I mean, you guys all think I'm a liar.
I mean, you know, like I said, I got the cream of the crop is here.
Oh, yes.
And listen.
Yes, you do.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, I loved every morning waking up and for the first 15 minutes of the show, hearing how he went and took his brother-in-law in the shower and violated him in his back door with some kind of cleaning product and some kind of scrub brush.
He's disabled, and I had to bathe him.
I mean, really getting in there.
And I would tell stories about what I had to do. By the way, he is fully taking his own showers now. Thank you.
I'm sorry, Bob.
I still have to take care of his feet, though, with the cheese grater thing. That's a regular thing, and put cream on his feet because he can't reach them. His hands don't work. Yeah, so Bob's suggesting that me bathing my brother-in-law is I was sticking something up his asshole.
What was that?
I believe it was Comet.
Comet.
Okay, Bob, God damn it, stop. And the sunglasses. Bob, you are not, like, young. You're like my age. But he actually has to put on a costume to do this show. The sunglasses, the backwards hat, he's like a wannabe fucking member of Pantera or something.
Yes.
could have been.
Yes, I mean, you know, every morning. I mean, oh, my goodness. So, I mean, you know, you miss that sometimes.
By the way, the NFK stories are some of the best. But John's being facetious and is ripping me. Okay.
So.
Nice.
But
I just saw that.
Good one, Mr. Decaf.
Nice.
Good
Daddy
one.
to a new meaning.
Good joke.
Absolutely. So, okay. So here he goes. So there's a list, Bob. There's a list.
Uh-oh.
I would only do that if they begged forgiveness.
Eric, you should beg for forgiveness.
Yes.
You should go over and beg to the people that supported you financially.
Give it.
Supported you in everything you did. Went to all your events. Went to all the things that you had. Supported Nick. Buying subscriptions for people that didn't have them. Thousands of dollars he did. And now that's all gone. And tell me that doesn't hurt. I know it hurts.
It hurt then. I didn't, it was tough at first, but it's worked out. It was a year ago. I'm over it. And you guys are not. because you're making scarecrows of me at your MAGA parties. All right? That's what you're doing. You did that. And you posted it publicly. And it got out and it got back to me. And I sat on it. And I didn't even want to bring it up. But now you won't leave it alone. So unfortunately for you, despite it's me against all of you, you're outnumbered. You have no hope here. This is something you can't win. There's literally nothing you can do. So, congrats. And you're actually falling for the trap that I had hopes that you would fall for yesterday. Of course they're not going to bend the knee. Of course I wasn't talking to anyone. I threw that in for 1 minute on a 2-hour show, and he made it the thing that he opened up his show with yesterday. Fuck yes! Jackpot! Scoreboard!
It's got to hurt you because this is how you make your living now.
Ka-ching.
You should bend a knee, come over and apologize to each and every one. You should make a cameo to each and everybody on this list. Apologizing
Good one.
for the shit you did. This is your fault.
Okay, how do one of you do one? We can trade cameos.
You handled this horribly. This could have been avoided if you wasn't such a douchebag and did what you did to Dean. If you wouldn't have done that.
Wait a minute. Do you mean Dean, the sexual predator? The guy who you called a sexual predator? I don't think Dean is a sexual predator. Those words have not crossed my lips. Across yours. Dean should sue you for suggesting on your show that you think he's a sexual predator.
And if you would have just said, okay, I'm going to take a joke or whatever. And then not only that, but then you get caught in lie after lie after lie.
Okay, now this actually annoyed me. I have never lied to anyone except for yesterday when I was talking about how I want them to bend the knee. That was a lie.
911. No, you didn't. You called later.
That's not true.
There wasn't a police report. Oh, yes, there was. So it's just lie after lie and bullshit after bullshit.
I don't know what the fuck he means. But in fact, frankly, I don't even remember. Even if I did, who cares?
Shit. So you should go and apologize to every one of them.
Okay, that would mean I would have, hey, I am apologizing at the time that you think I called. Okay, so what other lies are there? Break it down.
That's what you should do. And I don't think they'd come back. I know one person that would.
Melissa, yeah, she has, that is a cute picture of her, by the way. She is very cute. Still wouldn't go back, she says. This is one of those people who I have never said or done anything to her, as far as I can remember. Now, if she provided an example and I hit my memory, I'd go, oh, yeah, you're right. But she was part of that. They all collectively didn't like my reaction to Dean, the guy that John says is a sexual predator. So they jumped ship and sided with Dean. That's why she left.
Wouldn't come back. Still wouldn't go back. Melissa says still wouldn't go back.
That's right.
So.
Pellerito is referencing Derek Chauvin, the guy who killed George Floyd, with I'll bend him the knee of Eric. That is referencing, they have a bit on either this podcast or another podcast, and they say that if someone does something like a black guy gets pulled over, they will say, yeah, give him the knee of Derek. Derek Chauvin, the guy who put the knee on George Floyd. So that's what Mike is suggesting. That bit. He's okay.
We haven't got to the list yet. I'm sorry.
Here you go. What do you think, Dean?
Dean writes, no fucking way. Kalka. Oh. They all believe it. They believe that I actually want them to come back. Fantastic. Nick Stewart, Dean Root, Lisa Krantz, Kate Creer, Mike Pellerito, Craig, Dennis Goebel, Melinda Sordelay, Andrea, Jason. Another account. The key to being successful to this is keeping a straight face. By Nick Stewart. Another account by Nick Stewart.
That's my favorite right there.
Nice, Nick. Another.
all those accounts I'm referencing, those are the ones that he would make after I would ban him. And then he would say horrible things to me. So I'd ban him again and ban him again. And then I am not making this up. At about that same time, his wife left him. And then suddenly I didn't hear from Nick anymore because she started posting pictures of her with some dude named Rusty. Now, you're pretty much a shitty husband if the wife is now living with a guy named Rusty. Motherfucker. So I didn't hear from Nick anymore after that. Nick was the same guy who, during one of the battles, I busted out a joke about his wife's fucked up teeth, and they're a disaster. Oh my God, it's like she eats nails. And I never forget, he came over my house once, another unannounced visit, and knocks on the door, and I go, hey, come on in. And then I almost threw up when the old lady goes, ah, and I see, it looks like fucking, there's a new movie out, a sequel to the Amityville, or the Exorcist. The two kids possessed by the devil had better teeth than this chick. It was so fucked up. Oh my God. Anyway, Amanda says, Eric, sorry. Anyway, I'm giving you that background to illustrate this point because Nick was so pissed off about me ripping her, and then he starts ripping her a new one because she started banging a guy named Rusty. It was absolutely incredible. Kenny adds, I have never understood the importance of what time Eric called the cops. I've also never understood all the rousing support for Dean. I like a lot of those people from our previous times together and everything, but I've only barely tolerated Dean for a long time now. I personally wouldn't side with Dean over Eric, like ever. If any of them chose to hate me because of that, then oh well. You mean the guy that John Domingo said was a sexual predator and is creepy? His words, not mine. All right, so that's why. Sorry, I'm getting off track. That's why Nick made all of those accounts so that he could say terrible things to me over and over and over again.
Another one.
And another
Jesus.
one.
Okay.
Rob Payne, Adam Knapp, Doug Lemon, all members of the fucking Tooth Brigade, by the way. You're all on the list.
Oh,
Yeah,
no.
you're all on the Boomer Bunker All-Star list. That's what list you're on.
Correct.
You guys are all on the best fans a podcast could have. Absolutely.
Yes, and I thank you so much for keeping them occupied.
Oh, you mean we're not trash? We're not white trash?
Absolutely not.
Or any trash?
Oh, boy. Shelley Kaner.
Oh, more. I'm sorry.
Scott Thalen.
Yeah.
Jason
do the
Thierry.
scroll.
The
Poor
Boomer
Jason.
Bunker Podcast. Boomer Bob. JM Synthetics. Jason Mays.
Another guy that's in here.
I turned on Jason when on this show. Jason sent me a long email when the fights were starting. And it was, I am neutral. I am not picking a side. Okay. I did notice that he dropped his Patreon. I go, well, that actually makes sense because he doesn't want to take a side. I understand. Then he started making comments about your old pal. I see everything. EZ on here, which I ignored, but banned him. Sorry, buddy. And he's got a little bit of a Zaniac vibe to him, so you know where he stands.
Every week, coming in here, giving us content. Appreciate Jason. You know, just great people.
Sexy Voice Andrea's mother, Marcia. Oh, she's a real catch. You must ask forgiveness. John and Jennison, you must bend the knee. Marlene. How ridiculous is that? You must bend the knee. This guy, this Josh Robert NH, he's been in here recently enjoying the show. He says, guilty. I still listen to both shows, but I'm a child of divorce, so I'm used to my parents fighting. He made another comment later, which I blocked him. He can't watch the show on Twitter, on Twitch anymore, because he said the show is just Kenny and talking about his brother-in-law. And it's like, you know what? I don't think I need you anymore. Hit the road. Welcome to the Boomer Bunker, because that's your show exclusively now. Shepherd. That is it. That
I'm sure there's more.
Group picture.
Oh, I got a group picture for you, buddy.
That was the one where everybody was shooting on the finger?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know you're like, well, we can't get together. Well, you're going to have to.
We did.
Bend the knee. Video of you begging for forgiveness. And Kate goes, we did. No, of course I know that. I will consider.
Body. Yeah.
No, I will. I will forgive you if you beg forgiveness.
Sure he
Aaron
would.
says, I guess that is why subscriptions are not being bought randomly for strangers anymore.
Yeah. All the people that supported you financially, you chased away.
I chased some away. A few.
You dumb fucking moron.
Whatever. Had to cancel cable when everybody fucking left his shit.
Huh? Bob! Out of the blue, Bob! With another bomb! Oh, no. I bet you had to cancel cable. Oh, you got to stop, Bob.
Crazy.
Amy says, do you trust those guys to add them back?
I wouldn't if I was you. These are fucking deviant geniuses. I would never trust any of these.
You got half of that right.
Again,
we would destroy him, but we wouldn't go back.
And you know what, Eric? At the end of the day,
it's a fucking podcast. Spit it out, Bob.
Except when you need to eat and pay some college bills.
Yeah.
Okay, they're suggesting that the dozen or so that left the show, okay, even if they all gave me $10 a month, it's $120 a month. Okay, I'm going to be okay. All right?
Then
well,
you got to
I have a real job for that.
Yeah, well.
She says, you lose all your money, and Bob says, I have a real job for that. So Bob is suggesting that whatever he does for a living, which half of it is going to go to his wife now, is that is a real job. But me doing this is not actually a real job. Okay. All right. I'm just going to sit here, drink my coffee on my 10 acres up north after driving up here in my motorhome, and then go back to my home that has a beautiful in-ground pool with a hot tub and about 4,500 square feet, and be thankful that I don't have a real job. Only if they beg forgiveness. I don't mean to brag, but we do fucking great. Rick says, which ones are rumored to want to come back? I cannot reveal that, Rick. Come on now.
None. There's nobody
Correct.
outreach to him.
Correct.
Yeah, that's why I can't, because there's nobody on the list. Oh, hold on. Let me get the list that wants to come back. White sheet of paper. Nope.
Okay, they're correct, but they've also fallen for the easiest trick in the book.
Nobody wants to come back.
Do you envision him like having a scroll? He just unrolls the scroll and just rolls it back up and tucks it away.
You think Lisa wants to come back?
Lisa says, fuck off,
you,
douchebag.
Douchebag.
Oh, no.
Lisa. I'm not sure where you stand on that.
Nick says, none of them.
Nick, none of them. Wait a minute, Nick. You sent me a forgiveness letter, Nick.
Hero zip.
And then you were talking about Bible study, Nick. You see, you guys got to understand, these things come back to haunt you.
Zilch, nada.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, it's just a bunch of people.
His
Adam
loss.
Says,
frankly, his loss.
I've been on worse lists by better animals.
There you go. You're not wrong, Adam. Well said.
So, here we go.
You know, the other day, I was on the Jimmy's Ice Block Delivery Twitter.
Okay, time out.
And I noticed
Bob is... I got to back this up, and it's hard for me to do that. Okay. We've already heard some real zingers from Bob. He's going to try it again. They don't get it. They don't get the joke. He's attempting to rip on me because I have a lot of sponsors that are local. Yeah. Okay, so... All right, a little more on that, my thoughts on that. But he's insulting me because I have local businesses that pay me money to be on the show. But what he's saying, they don't get what he means by Jimmy's Ice Block.
His
Adam
loss.
says,
Frankly, his
I've
loss.
been on worse lists by better animals.
There you go. You're not wrong, Adam.
That's not a joke.
Well said.
So here we go.
The other day,
I'm not. Here we go.
I was on the Jimmy's Ice Block Delivery Twitter, and I noticed that he had like 2 comments on every post.
Okay, no, they don't know what he means. He's looking at something called Jimmy's Ice Block, and it has 2 posts, and they are confused. I was confused until he spoke more.
So
Look at that look on John. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
him,
Okay.
he's not.
Yeah, fucking Bob. This guy cannot get out of his own way. If they keep this up, we might have to add another show to the plate on Patreon called Who Are These Boomer Bunkers? For Bob alone. Oh, my God.
He doesn't have as big of a following as
Eric, you mean Eric's posts?
yes.
I'm sorry. Okay.
And
yeah,
that was
I'm with you
also like a throw because every time he gives out anything to do with his, Facebook or his Twitter or his email, even it's the, Jimmy's Lawn Service Twitter or the, Bubba's
Spit it out, Bob. Come on, big guy. Bring it home. Bring it home.
fucking, roofing
Yep.
email.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, just give us your fucking, you don't have to put a brand name on everything.
Correct. But they pay me a lot. And, my wife and I do fun things with that money. Kind of like your wife is going to do fun things with the $20,000 you make a year, Bob.
He has to. He's desperate for sponsors. You got to shove them everywhere.
What did you get for that? A nickel?
Fuck yes.
Mike says, my video.
He is insanely jealous, Bob. That is pure jealousy there. What'd you get for him? A nickel? Oh, God. I'm losing my shit over Bob. He is stealing the show, in my opinion, here.
I'm working on from the weekend will show how many of us want to come back.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh, my.
So,
That'll
Courtesy
be a bunch.
laugh. Courtesy
No.
laugh.
so and you would think that maybe the lying would stop, but no.
No.
Gonna do that. I even love my enemies, and I pray for them.
Bullshit. I praise we all
Love my
die.
enemies so much. You're right. I want nothing for them. She goes, fuck you, but to be happy.
Well, they are. They're over
We
here
are
now.
totally happy not
Good.
seeing you.
They're happy. They're happy.
I know,
They're over here.
I know.
They're here with a show that appreciates them,
Uh-huh.
that hangs out
handle
with
it.
them.
I know.
Yeah,
can handle
they're
it.
happy.
Yes. We found something we agree on. Aram says they could ask for forgiveness. By the way, I am doing a full-on Ask Me Anything when I am done murdering these people. So get your questions ready. If you wrote one earlier and I missed it, you're going to have to write it again. This is so much fun. I am so happy at the annual Zaniac reunion in Michigan. I don't know what that is, and I doubt
Such a
that is
liar.
even a thing. Kate, you are correct. I was absolutely lying there.
He is such a liar.
Stevie says the former Zaniacs were all in town last weekend. Looks like they hung out at my place. That's hilarious, and I know that that's not true.
Liar.
He totally knows that's true.
I just showed you the
Eating him
video.
up.
So they know I'm lying, but they're talking about it. Oh, God. Craig Danitz of Clearwater, Florida, who has a yellow house, is pulling his hair out. What hair he has left, he is like, you idiots, I told you not to do that. Thank you for the 2 hours.
I just showed the video of them all there last week. He knows it's not true.
Of course.
So,
He's
Eric,
just playing this. He loves
there
it.
you go. You wanted some content for the rest of the week. There you go.
Thank you.
You can
You're
start your little-
welcome. You're welcome,
Thank
old
you.
pal.
I
Eric, and
know,
while
I
you're
know.
Talking about us.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here he comes. Bob's getting ready for a joke. Are you ready? Shut your fucking fat mouth. Oh!
Oh, here you go. Here you go.
All right.
Josh said this. It's
Josh, this is why I banned this Josh Robert NH. It's content. if you take out Zaniacs, Kenny, Freeburn Hot Wings, and taking care of his brother-in-law's showers, he's got like 25 minutes a day. So he's hate listening. So I was like, I saw that. I go, well, you can't participate anymore. If you're going to do the old double agent thing and I find out about it, fuck you.
It's content. If you take out Zaniacs, Kenny, Freeburn Hot Wings, and taking care of his brother-in-law's showers.
This is the first time I've talked about the Zaniacs in 1 year. Other than the occasional reference where you hear,
I know you want to.
or the joke time and again, which would be like a fleeting moment on the show, which, I mean, that's how jokes work. Yeah, who gives a fuck? So Josh can fuck off.
He's got like 25 minutes a day.
Except on Wednesdays.
Okay. He's got like 25 minutes a day. John says, or Bob says, except on Wednesdays. They're going to reference my father here. This is going to make you upset.
Oh, yeah. And he's got a poor dad. I'm not going to talk about his dad.
No, of course not.
Right.
Poor man. He's just using him.
Lisa says, yep.
Kate just said, I'm using my father. She's probably going to regret that. Because I've talked to you many times about how with the dementia, that is the one thing that never slips his mind. When I call him the night before, he says, are we doing my show tomorrow? And of course, yeah, Dad, we sure are. Okay, I can't wait. And he always expresses how much he loves doing that. So with a dementia patient especially, it's very important to have some structure or routine. And so that's one of the things that's a pillar of his week that it's become. It started out as just a silly thing, but now it still is. And it's fun. But it's very, very important to my father. Now, I would give Kate a honest-to-God pass because she's so angry that she'll say anything to put me in my place, but she doesn't have the horses. So when she goes that low, I would like to think that that's just a moment of weakness. I actually would give her a pass because these people don't have anything, okay? That's where they have to go.
Hashtag truth. Hashtag truth.
You hear that, guys? I'm using my father, my 90-year-old dementia patient father.
Josh, you got to come to the next one.
All right, everybody. So that's enough about the Zaniacs, and welcome back, Kate. And
thank you.
There's a lot of.
John's gonna go. Welcome back, Kate. You skunkhead bitch. I cannot believe you referred to Stevie like that. Who I think there might have been one point in time, and I'm open on the AMA now. Ask me anything. Stevie had dark hair with a white stripe, but I think that's a regular thing for her to switch it up. Ryan says we have to help Big Fraud Zane steal cable somehow. Fucking Ashley, you idiot. She says, why? He's rich. I wouldn't say rich, but I'm fine. I do very well doing the podcast, and I thank you for being part of it. But for all of you that listen, this is our relationship, give and take. You give me a few bucks here and there if you're on Patreon or you support my sponsors, and I do the show. That's it. The problem with a mixed bag of people like that, some wanted to sink their claws into it. Pellerito, I was a little nervous the day I got fired in February of 2016 when I was walking on the ice, and I should have known. My instinct told me that's weird. I walked into the penalty box to go where I sit, and he was holding a sign offering me support. But he was crying. That is remarkable and off-putting. It's too much. And I think that there's a wire crossed somewhere in there that led him down that road. And then the multiple making things for the show felt a part of it. And I'll tell you a little story about Pellerito. There was a moment on BBL when they took, I was on from 6 a.m. to 10 a.m. And at one point, they got a lot of blowback because Dan Patrick started at 9 a.m. And so they put me on, and then they got so much hate, they eventually ended my show at 9 a.m. I think I said that right. So Patrick now is back on at 9 a.m. My show only goes from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Pellerito, without consulting me, is downtown for his job, and he has a dress shirt on and a tie, and he went to the front desk of the radio station on the 4th floor. Programming is on the 5th floor, and said, "Hello, I'm here to see Dave Jackanette for a meeting." And he looked the part, so the person at the front desk said, "Oh, okay, right this way." Pellerito goes up to programming, and the person at the front desk says, "Wait here in the green room, and I'll get Dave." This is right before Jackanette's show on the AM station. He's the program director. The person at the front desk thought that Pellerito was a guest on his show. That's why she let him up. So now Pellerito is in my place of employment. And he is going to stress the importance to Dave Jackanette to put me back on the air till 10 a.m. That's the level of the cringe that I'm talking about. That for a long time I had to navigate, like, am I doing the right thing by being involved with this? And I struggled with that for a long time because there was a lot of good that came out of that, but I think it came with a cost. I think the ownership, the entitlement that those people felt resonated on a level that went so far beyond anything that I had planned for, that when they started to take the liberties that they took, as John Jamingo said, he thinks that Dean is a sexual predator. They started to really lean into all of that, and it was too much. So Pellerito is waiting there, and my boss goes, "Hey," he sees him in the green room. He goes, "How can I help you?" And he goes, and he identifies himself, explains why he's there, and Jackanette's jaw drops. I said draw. His jaw drops. He goes, "You got to get out of here. This is not your place. If my boss, which was Lori, finds out that you're here doing this, everybody's fucked. Get out." He threw him out. So then I'm in my studio, and then Jackanette comes in. He goes, "You won't believe what just happened." I go, "What?" And he breaks it down for me. I'm like, ugh. Holy shit. Ryan says, "You should have sicked big old womanizer Cartwright on him." I don't think, no. Come on now. Florida Man 814 says, "That is so fucking bizarre." Stevie says, "Oh, wow, super stocky behavior." Ryan says it's insanity. Maureen says, "Good Lord, that's crazy." They don't think so. These people think that that's okay. Let's see. Maureen said to Stevie, Kate said Eric is using his father. I'll bet you she regrets that. She can't even believe that. Ryan says, "I make more money on Cameo doing my Big Fraud Zane impression than Big Fraud Zane makes wishing people a happy birthday." Look, if you do that, even if you put on a remotely, a reasonably accurate Trump wig and put on a red coat with a red tie, I think you could make some money on that. And if you want me to publicize it, I am your guy. You could make some money on that. I'm fairly certain. At least $50 a pop. It's fucking that good. Ryan busts Bob about his, "You can't be rich if you're paying for cable." Chris says, that's such horseshit. Everyone knows how much your dad means to you, and this show is important to him. Florida man referred to Kate as a see you next Tuesday. Oh, boy. Savage Sack Lunch says, okay, swatting Kate now. Florida says she wasn't going to say anything, and then she said something. You see, Kate's not, she doesn't do this for a living, so she doesn't have a lot to say. So it's the first thing that pops into her head. However, despite that, she's still better than fucking Bob. Sir Bob says he's probably just mad he can't get that Planet Fitness sponsorship. All right. If Eric's trash is their treasure, more power to them, Tyler writes. Ashley says, Jesus, quote, prays we all die. Chill, girl. No, I don't. I don't pray that they die, but since they're on the list, when I'm laying in bed, I fantasize about ways that, I can, like, beat them up. That's what makes me go to sleep at night. Didn't Andrea used to show up at the radio station, too? Yes. And then, I don't know what the fuck she does. I think she's a janitor or something like that. And she, part of her work is, at least she was, I don't know if she still is she goes into, like, businesses and sprays, like, fucking Glade in the air and says it, like, kills all the bacteria. And so she's like, I'm going to come in there and Glade your home. And I'm like, it's okay. It's okay. She's like, we're going to keep it from getting COVID. You got to eat this ivermectin. I'm going to spray the inside of your house. It's like, no. I'm good. I'm good. Everyone wants to fucking come over my house. All right. Are there any questions? I feel I've covered it. Stevie says, no, she works in a dispensary now, I believe. Oh, okay. All right. That fits. She likes to partake. I know that. If you have any questions, send them along on the chat right now. And with a little luck, this will now continue. You see, now it's out there. I let them punch themselves out. I've made my comments on what they said. I've admitted to some of the things they accused me of and denied others. Perfectly, I might add. With style, grace, and eloquence. And we got to see Boomer Bob bust out some side splitters and open the door for a potential new show. Now, honestly, I don't know how I can get it done because right now we're sitting on who are these Zanes? Who are these Justins? Who are these Freebeers? Who are these Ottawa County fascists? Not to mention the Ben and Eric Patreon podcast. They don't even have to talk about me. I could watch the Boomer Bunker clip that show just for Bob. We could call it Bob's Joke Corner. At the very least, clip Bob's jokes and insert them here. You should ask the former president if he'd co-host with you, Ryan writes. Well, I might. When do we hear them listening to you? Listen to them. It's pizza. Pizza! There was a moment in time. Get this. Remember how John said that Dean was a sexual deviant? Not my words, his words. When Linda and Maureen were just starting to get used to this show, Dean was still in the fold, and he wanted to. The story goes, and I'll have to get the exact words from Linda, but he was talking with Linda and Maureen, in a friendly way, and out of the blue, Dean's idea, quote unquote idea. Quote, for the show, when we were doing a Zoom, because sometimes we do the show like we play trivia or something like that, or maybe on the Ben and Eric podcast, we're live on Zoom and you can see all the audience members. Dean's idea, he reached out to Maureen about this. He goes, hey, give me Linda's address, and when she's live on the show, I'll sneak into her home and be behind her while she's on Zoom on the show. Linda, confirm or deny? Linda says he sent the idea only to Maureen to surprise me. Maureen says I was new to the show. Linda was not. Dean called me to spring this on Linda. Quote, for the show. And you wonder why, dude, you got to put a boundary here. That's why I said don't cross the line. Now, they mock me for don't cross the line, but I still feel that was very warranted. So you add up all these little dust-ups on Dean, and I'm like, ooh, what do I do? Do I call the cops? Maybe now you might understand what I was thinking. All right. And I wanted to talk about what happened to me on the ride up here. Wanted to talk about Sinead O'Connor being dead. I wanted to talk about this family living off the grid. I wanted to talk about Hunter Biden. I wanted to talk about Jason Aldean. I wanted to talk about Toby Keith. These motherfuckers ruined it. But I hope you've enjoyed this. I know I have, because this has been a meticulous, merciless takedown. One of the best of all time. You can't deny it. This was fun. It's been brought to you by, it's not even worth a nickel. Thank you to Berlin Raceway. I'm giving away tickets on Facebook and Twitter, Facebook right now. If you go to Facebook, the post underneath, near the top, is a Berlin Raceway ticket giveaway. Thank you to Berlin for being a sponsor of the show. Racing this weekend. It's Hall of Fame night. They're inducting people into the Berlin Raceway Hall of Fame. The number one short track in all of the Midwest is Berlin Raceway. You got SRX there next Thursday. You can still get $75 pit passes there for SRX. And then a week from Wednesday is a battle for Berlin with Chase Elliott, the most popular driver in NASCAR, is going to be there. Holy cow, get your tickets. BerlinRaceway.com. Tickets for Saturday, though, are just $14. You can get them at BerlinRaceway.com. Parking is free. 15 and under is free. What a bargain. It is the best value in entertainment compared to any other venue in West Michigan. And they have been packing them in. Fantastic summer nights at Berlin Raceway. Bring the fam. Bring a cooler with all of your goodies, soft drinks, no glass, no alcohol. Plenty to buy there at very affordable prices. And they got ice cream. Ice cream, that's what EZ eats. Strawberry shortcocks. Strawberry shortcakes, $4 a pop at Berlin Raceway. Thank you. Also included in that, the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. 231-332-6505. That's 231-332-6505. If you've ever wanted a mortgage, reach out to my pals over at the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. All across the United States, that number is good for everyone. And if you're in the market for a mortgage, like let's say you're going through a divorce, all right? And you make your living telling side-splitting one-liners while wearing a costume to make you look like a rotting Dimebag Darrell. But the wife leaves you. So now you have to split $20,000 50-50 with her. You have $10,000 to your name. You too could call and maybe get in on a 15-foot travel trailer in the middle of the woods. 231-332-6505. for the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. Some of you get that joke. Some not. If you've been paying attention, you get that joke. It's just fucking mean. Anyway, First Mortgage, 10th Mortgage, whatever it may be, 231-332-6505 for the Mario Flores Lakeshore team of Van Dyke Mortgage. You got to know, if I ever go after you, I'm never going to just call you an idiot. I'm gonna do it two ways. I'm going to insult you and try to make somebody laugh at the same time. That's how it goes. You got to do more. What is that called? Work smarter, not harder. That's the idea there with your old pal EZ. Poor Stevie says, I still don't know what I did. So none of those folks actually said, hey, what the fuck? What happened there, Stevie? And like worked it out with her. They just like told her to fuck off, whatever she did. And she's not aware. Could you fucking morons at least tell her to give her a reason why you're telling her to fuck off? I mean, at least I know why you're telling me to fuck off. Thank you, Boomer Bunker, for just the fucking hook with the bait on it, and you're like a carp. You just consumed it. You swallowed it. I didn't even expect it to go that fast. Absolutely fantastic, and I wasn't even sure it would, but when I heard that you were talking about me, I was like, oh boy, this could be the big one, and you did not let me down. I'm very appreciative. You should listen to Craig. You should absolutely listen to Craig Danitz from Clearwater, Florida, living in a small yellow home. Asshole of the Day brought to you by TC Paintball. Maureen says Gizmongo is the asshole of the day. I don't know. Ashley says work fraudulently, not ethically. Ashley says I'll swallow it. That's weird. Okay. I am going to, I don't know what to collectively call that group. I mean, I can't make them the asshole of the day because of what they did about me, because I'm thankful for that. So when I write Boomer Bunker, it's collectively for the attack on Stevie. I'm sure she can handle it. I'm sure she's not hurt, but I mean, be a man and let her know, or a woman and let her know what's up, for fuck's sake. So there you go. On behalf of Stevie, not your old pal EZ, the TC Paintball asshole of the day. Congratulations. But I love you. Don't let that deter you from doing that again. Please, I'm begging you. Now that it's all out in the open, please keep doing what you're doing. Oh, my God. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns about today's show, please email the Shoreliners Striping inbox, eric@ericzaneshow.com. Tim Mayer is the man who runs Shoreliners Striping. Retired American Hockey League official, made a name for himself. He's now consulting the league. Arguably the second best hockey league in the world. Feeds the National Hockey League. I can't say enough about this gentleman. While being an American Hockey League ref and rising the ranks, he built his own business where he has all the equipment and he stripes parking lots. So if you have a parking lot that needs to be striped, that's who you reach out to. Shorelinersstriping.com. It's all one word. Shorelinersstriping.com, obviously. He's fantastic. Some call him a unicorn because he's downright perfect. He's so rare, Tim Mayer. He's rare. Okay? And he retired from reffing because he's making fat stacks striping people's parking lots. He even went to the last Winter Olympics as the referee there. But I love him very much, and I'm very appreciative of his support, as I am all of these sponsors who, quote, keep me from getting a real job. All right. Ashley says, at Team Shoreliners with like hard eyes. Hard eyes on Tim Mayer? Well, that's weird. Do you even know Tim Mayer? You're going to make Tim Mayer blush if he sees that if any lady gives Tim Mayer hard eyes, you're going to make that guy blush. All right, folks, I appreciate you for joining me on this very special edition of the Eric Zane Show podcast. I didn't intend for it to be the whole fucking show, but it was too much. It was just too much. I couldn't rush through it. I had to take my time. Enjoy your day. I got the Patreon. Plenty more there on Patreon. Sign up for free for 7 days. Find out what Crazy Ashley's old boyfriend, who could be any old Joe's, disgusting kink was. That's Monday's Patreon. You must get the 7 days free to check that out. Ashley, by the way, I've gotten 2 people to sign up for the Patreon just for that story. All right. I'll talk to you on the Patreon in a little bit. Get your free 7 days. Patreon.com/Eric Zane. All right. Have a good one. Thank you, and bye-bye.